In 1692, in the town of Salem, Massachusetts, Sarah Good, along with other women, were accused of being involved with the devil because of mass hysteria in the Christian church, resulting in several legal trials and executions. Church politics, family feuds, along with other similar trials in Europe, led to Sarah Good and the other girls' executions. This influenced a change in the U.S. court system that states one is innocent until proven guilty, overall making the court system more fair.
Starting in Europe, witch hunts, trials, and hysteria started with the Christian church, which had the belief that Satan could give certain people powers to hurt others. They did this to gain the devil's trust.
Witchcraft traveled through Europe from the 1300s to the 1600s. In that time, thousands of women who were said to be witches were executed.
In 1689, the English started a war with France in American colonies. They sent refugees into the Americas, specifically Salem. The new people created confusion and rivalry among people.
Samuel Parris, the first ordained minister in 1689, was very much disliked by the people. The people in the town believed that it was being influenced by the devil. In January 1692, Parris's niece, and then later another girl, started having quote-unquote fits. Under pressure, they ended up blaming the three women for what was happening to them, one of the women being Sarah Good.
Sarah Good grew up in a comfortable environment with a wealthy dad. In 1673, her dad, John Solar, had committed suicide, leaving his 9 children and widow with his estate. Soon after his death, the widow, Elizabeth, remarried, giving part of the estate to her new husband. This took away money from the kids, and Sarah got no money.
Because Sarah had no money, she married Daniel Poole, a former servant. He later died, and she was left with even more debt. Sarah went on to marry William Good, a weaver, and they had a 5-year-old daughter named Dorothy, also known as Dorcas Good.
In the town of Salem, people started to dislike her. She was a beggar and a crook. Sarah would yell at children in the streets. She muttered and cursed at people and was resentful towards people who didn't let her in.
Sarah Good, along with Sarah Osborne and Tibuta, were investigated and charged with witchcraft on March 1st, 1692. Sarah was suspected for multiple reasons. Sarah was known to be very socially unpleasant, and she was said to be very malicious and spiteful. Multiple people of Salem wanted to rid the streets of her presence.
Sarah was investigated along with the other girls, and they all pleaded innocent until Tituba, a slave, confessed that she made a deal with the devil. She said, "The devil came to me and bid me to serve him." Tituba claims to have seen a room with black dogs, red cats, yellow birds, and a black man who wanted her to sign a book, in which she did.
Tituba went on to say that Sarah would torment the children and then force her to hurt them. Tituba said, "Sarah would hurt the children, but I would not. No, there is 4 women and a man who hurt the children, then lay upon me, and tell me if I do not hurt the children, they will hurt me." Sarah was sent to jail on March 7, 1692, even though she denied Tituba's claims.
There were other incidents outside of the trials that led people to believe she was a witch. One day, Sarah and her family went to seek shelter. They approached Sarah Gage's house and asked if they could stay for a bit, while they tried to figure things out. But Sarah Gage said that Sarah Good was very spiteful and malicious towards her, so she kicked them out. About a week later, Sarah Gage said that all of her cattle had died from a mysterious disease.
Another witness came forward and told the court the exact same thing had happened to her. Sarah was also said to be very charismatic throughout the trial. For example, she was said to have leaped off of her horse 3 times, which was very strange, in particular because of all the transport and stress that she was under. She probably would have been too tired and emotionally worn out to do so.
Sarah was said to have muttered to herself a lot during the trial. When a judge asked her about her muttering, she claims to have been reciting psalms. But when the judge asked her to recite some, she couldn't.
Everyone and everything around Sarah looked as if it were against her. Even her husband William was doubting Sarah. He said he was starting to believe that Sarah was becoming a witch.
In a later court session, the judge asked Sarah, "Why do you hurt these children?" Sarah then responded with, "I do not hurt them. I scorn them. I am falsely accused."
Sarah was to be hung in April after the judge found her guilty, but the execution date had to be pushed back to July because she was pregnant with her second child, Mercy Good, who died in infancy. Sarah was hung on July 19, 1692. Sarah's last words were, "You are a liar. I am no more a witch than you are a wizard. And if you take away my life, God will give you blood to drink."
Salem witch trials went on until late 1693, when the Governor William Phipps's wife was accused of doing witchcraft in the woods. Because of his wife being condemned, he stopped the trials and hunts as a whole.
The Salem witch trials were one of the biggest cases of witch hysteria, worse than some of the European trials, with 19 people killed and 141 people imprisoned.
The long-term effect of the Salem witch trials added to changes in the U.S. court system and procedures.
It also helped with having access to legal representation and the fair statement that everybody is innocent until proven guilty.
Overall, even though Sarah Good was falsely accused, her execution led to a good shift in history that allowed the colonies at the time to develop and grow.